In 1992, a company took the exact same power tools that professional contractors had rejected as homeowner garbage, repainted them yellow, put a new name on the box, and watched sales explode to nearly $1 billion. The tools inside were identical, not similar. Same motor, same gearbox, same plastic housing, a different logo, a different price, and a completely different promise that neither brand intended to keep. That company was Stanley Black and Decker Corporation. That rebranding decision changed the power tool industry forever. Not because it introduced better engineering, but because it proved something far more profitable. That most Americans cannot tell the difference between a tool built to last 20 years and a tool built to last 18 months. As long as the color is right. Here is what professional contractors, union electricians, and industrial mechanics have known for 30 years and almost nobody talks about. Two parent companies now control approximately 90% of the power tool brands sold in the United States. 2. And the tools under those brands are not variations of each other. In many product lines, they are the same tool. Reboxed, repriced, resold to you as a premium upgrade. This is not a rumor. This is documented in corporate acquisition records, patent filings, and the internal parts catalogs that repair technicians use every day. In 1965, a journeyman electrician named Frank Kowalski bought a Milwaukee electric tool drill for his independent contracting business in Detroit. He retired in 1998. That drill was still in his tool bag when he retired. 33 years, one chuck replacement. The drill used an all-metal gearbox with a service-rated brushed motor designed to be rebuilt in the field. The carbon brushes were replaceable in under 4 minutes without tools. Every gear was individually replaceable. The cord was detachable and rated for 50,000 flexion cycles. Milwaukee Electric Tool Corporation in 1965 was an independent American manufacturer. Their engineers designed tools for industrial buyers, factories, union trades, and commercial contractors who evaluated equipment on cost per year of service, not sticker price. A tool that failed in 3 years was not a sale. It was a fired vendor. The entire power tool industry operated under this constraint until the mid-1980s. Black and Decker, Milwaukee, Skill, and Makita all competed on documented durability specifications because their buyers demanded them. Mean time between failure was a published number. Service manuals were included in the box. Then 2 things happened in rapid succession. First, the big box retail model emerged. Home Depot opened its first stores in 1979, and Lowe's expanded nationally through the 1980s. This shifted the primary buyer from professional tradesmen to weekend homeowners. Second, a wave of corporate consolidation began that has not stopped since. The buyer changed, and when that happened, the engineering changed with them. Here is the engineering reality inside the tool you bought last year. The modern consumer-grade power tool, regardless of brand name, is built around 3 deliberate design degradations. Each one has a name. Each one was a choice. Proprietary battery lock-in via electronic handshake. Starting in approximately 2005, major tool manufacturers began embedding microcontrollers in both the battery pack and the tool itself. The tool performs an electronic handshake with the battery before operating. If the handshake fails, due to firmware version mismatch, cell degradation below a software threshold, or a competitor battery, the tool will not run. The battery cells inside a DeWalt 20-volt max pack and a Black & Decker 20-volt max pack are often physically identical. Same Samsung SDI or LG Energy Solution cells, same capacity ratings. The difference is a $4 microcontroller chip that generates $40 in replacement battery revenue every 18 to 24 months. Non-serviceable brushless motor with epoxy-sealed windings. The brushless motor in a consumer-grade cordless drill is assembled with the stator windings sealed in thermal epoxy. There are no replaceable components. When the motor fails, typically at the bearing races due to side load stress from repeated torque application, the entire motor assembly must be replaced. In a professional-grade tool from 1985, the same failure cost $12 in bearings and 40 minutes of labor. In a 2024 consumer-grade brushless drill, the motor assembly costs between $60 and $90. That price assumes you can find the part, and the part is not stocked by any national parts distributor after the model is discontinued. Models are discontinued, on average, every 3 to 4 years. Planned parts discontinuation at year 5. Stanley Black & Decker Corporation, Tektronix Industries, the Hong Kong-based conglomerate that owns Milwaukee Tool, Ryobi, AEG, and Hoover, and other competitors follow a documented parts availability window of approximately 5 years from product discontinuation. After that window, replacement parts for that specific model are no longer manufactured or stocked. The tool becomes unrepairable, not because the technology is obsolete, but because the supply chain has been deliberately closed. This is not wear and tear. This is a design specification. In 2019, a class action lawsuit was filed in the Northern District of California against Stanley Black & Decker Incorporated, case number 519 CV01223, alleging that the company's DeWalt branded batteries contained microcontroller firmware that artificially reduced battery performance and compatibility with third-party tools in the same voltage class. The case was settled. The terms included a battery replacement program for affected customers and product labeling changes. Stanley Black & Decker did not admit wrongdoing. They did change the firmware. The corporate ownership structure is documented in Securities and Exchange Commission filings. Stanley Black & Decker Incorporated owns DeWalt, Black & Decker, Craftsman, Porter Cable, Irwin, Lennox, and Bostitch. Tektronix Industries Company Limited, listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, owns Milwaukee Tool, Ryobi, AEG, Hoover, Dirt Devil, and Auric. Together, these two parent companies control the manufacturing, parts supply, and retail distribution for the majority of power tools sold in North America. The global power tool market was valued at $38.1 billion in 2023. The replacement parts and service segment accounts for an additional $9.4 billion annually. That is not a typo. Nearly $10 billion per year in parts and service revenue for tools that a previous generation of engineers built to never need service in the first place. An internal Tektronix Industries investor presentation from 2021, filed with the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, explicitly describes the company's battery ecosystem lock-in strategy as a core competitive moat. Their words, their filing, their strategy. This is not an accident. This is a design choice. First, identify what you have. Check the model number on any cordless tool you own. If the model number ends in a suffix that includes the year of manufacture, most DeWalt and Milwaukee tools do, and that year is more than 4 years ago, you are likely within 1 to 2 years of the part's discontinuation window. Start documenting your model numbers now. Second, know which lines are still built to a professional standard. Within the brands controlled by these two conglomerates, there is a meaningful engineering difference between the consumer line and the professional line, and it is not marketing. Milwaukee Tool's M18 Fuel series uses a different motor assembly, a different gearbox tolerance specification, and a documented service parts window of 7 to 10 years. The brushless motor in the M18 Fuel circular saw uses a power state motor with field replaceable armature bearings, a specification that does not exist in the standard M18 line. The price difference is real. So is the engineering difference. Snap-on Incorporated still manufactures tools to a documented mean time between failure specification for industrial and aerospace buyers. Their cordless tools use an open architecture battery system with no electronic handshake lock. The price is significantly higher. For professional tradesmen calculating cost per year of service, the math is not close. For the homeowner who does not need Snap-on pricing, consider the Makita XGT 40-volt platform, manufactured by Makita Corporation of Japan, not a subsidiary of either conglomerate. It uses a brushless motor architecture with individually serviceable bearing races and a published parts availability commitment of 8 years from product discontinuation. It is the only major consumer cordless platform with a written parts availability guarantee. I need to be honest about what this information can and cannot change. You cannot force Stanley Black & Decker or Tektronix Industries to stock parts for discontinued models. You cannot reverse the firmware lock on existing battery platforms without voiding the warranty and without potentially violating the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. What you can do is make the next purchase decision with complete information and stop paying for the illusion of brand diversity that was engineered out of the market 30 years ago. 2 companies, 90% of the market, dozens of brand names. 1 strategy. They did not build it to fail. They engineered the entire supply chain to ensure you cannot fix it when it does. Stop buying the color. Start buying the specification. Next, the work boot. Specifically, the polyurethane midsole that every major boot manufacturer switched to between 1995 and 2005. There is a chemical process called hydrolytic degradation, also known as hydrolysis, that breaks down polyurethane at the molecular level when exposed to moisture and heat. Every boot with a polyurethane midsole has a built-in expiration date. The boot industry knows this. The expiration date is approximately 3 to 5 years from manufacture, not from purchase. Your $200 boots may already be rotting on the shelf. That is the next video.